Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the September 13th, 2016 meeting of the Downers Grove Village Council. It is my privilege to call this meeting to honor and to welcome you here tonight. There are copies of our agenda on either side of the room on the shelves. If you haven't already done so and would like to pick up a copy, you can follow along with our proceedings tonight. There will be multiple opportunities for public comment, both with respect to items that are on tonight's agenda, as well as a segment that tonight is under item 5, which is reserved for public comments of a general nature. So if anyone has questions or comments of a general nature with respect to items that are not on tonight's agenda, the protocol is under item 5 to come up to the podium, tell us who you are, and we'll welcome hearing from you at that point in time. But first, it is our proud tradition to begin our meetings by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. So I would ask everyone to please rise and join us in reciting the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for joining us in that. And now I'd like to ask our fine village clerk, April Holden, to please call the roll.
Commissioner Wallace? Here. Commissioner Earl? Here. Commissioner Waldeck?
Here.
Commissioner White?
Here.
Commissioner Jose?
Here.
Commissioner Barnett?
Here.
Mayor Tully?
Here. Thank you very much. That brings us to item 3, which pertains to minutes of prior council meetings. We have a couple sets of minutes to approve tonight. If there are no changes, questions, or comments with respect to either set of minutes, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Mayor Tully, I move that this council approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Those minutes are approved. Thank you. And that brings us to a special item on tonight's agenda. And I have a proclamation to read. I think a few people in the audience might be interested in this proclamation. Just, I don't know, just an idea I have, crazy notion. Very happy to read this and present it. Whereas 2016 marks the sesquicentennial celebration, actually the sesquicentennial celebration, of the First Congregational United Church of Christ of Downers Grove. And whereas the forerunner of the First Congregational Church was the East DuPage Congregational Society. And whereas, as led by no other than Israel Blodgett, several people of the East DuPage Congregational Society formed a Downers Grove stop on the Underground Railroad, thus setting the commitment to social justice that has been an integral part of the congregational life. And whereas names of the founding members of the fledgling church included Lyman, Rogers, Curtis, and Blodgett. And whereas the First Congregational Church has been at 1047 Curtis Street since 1874. And whereas mission and outreach have been a cornerstone of the church. And whereas the founders recognized that the basic precept of the Christian church is to help others. Whereas through its 150 proud years, the church has demonstrated this value by being an active participant in the community, as evidenced by its founding of Boy Scout Troop 55, the First Congregational Learning Center, the Two-Way Street Coffee House, serving as a PADS facility, and housing Hope's Front Door, in addition to providing service to the global community. Now, therefore, I, Martin T. Tully, Mayor of the Village of Downers Grove, do hereby proclaim Sunday, September 18th, 2016, to be First Congregational United Church of Christ Day in the Village of Downers Grove. And I would like to ask Pastor Scott Oberle to please come up and accept this proclamation, which is handsomely framed. Take you over to the middle here. There's a big red X on the floor. Mr. Kozlowski wants us. Congratulations, good to see you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mayor Tully, I'm impressed that you got sesquicentennial out there. That's not an easy word to tackle or to spell. It's with great
Practice
pride.
next time. So the next 150 years.
It is truly with great pride and honor to not only to serve First Congregational United Church of Christ and its members, but also to be part of a faith community that has been part of Downers Grove since it was a grove. And the value of this church to that all of our citizens, great and small, learned and ill-educated, that every person matters and that we seek to lead with the love of God in all that we do and build bridges in our community, both with other organizations of service and interfaith and other churches, and with the city council and all the city services. So thank you very much to each of you in the village of Downers Grove for recognizing the church in this way on our 150th anniversary of service to the community. And we pray for many, many more in the future to come as we seek to be a light and a beacon of hope to all Downers Grove's residents and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you for those inspiring words, Pastor Oberle, and thank you to all your congregation members that are here today. We're very pleased to see you. And you stand on some very broad shoulders from what I just read. That is a quite impressive list of iconic organizations and places in our community, not to mention the historic names that we all hold dear, and it's one of the things that we find very important. So to all of you and your forerunners, thank you very much for everything you've done for the last 150 years to make Downers Grove such a terrific place to live, learn, work, and play. And I can only look forward to the next 150 years, although I may not be here for all of it. Thank you very much, and congratulations on our behalf and on behalf of the entire village of Downers Grove. Very good. Well, I couldn't possibly top that proclamation, so we only have one tonight. That'll move us to item 5, which is, as earlier mentioned, reserved for public comments of a general nature. If there are any members of the audience that have any questions or comments of a general nature, the protocol is please come down to the podium, tell us who you are, and we'll welcome hearing from you. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. First of all, my name is Matt Novak. I live at 805 Summit here in Downers Grove in Randall Park subdivision. Congratulations to the new members of the council. I know that you guys will serve both ethically and morally for all the residents, so you have our full support, so thank you. Just a couple quick things. The first two have to deal with the police department. First of all, we have a fantastic police department that has an excellent reputation in the community. However, me being a patrol officer for a southern suburb, and I have been for about 15 years, I have heard rumblings that our police officers have been without a contract for over 2 years now. This is a bit concerning to me because I know the issues that brings up, especially with morale in the police department and working conditions. I know what it's like to be pushing a car during the winter on midnights and realizing that I don't know when my contract's going to get settled, what my insurance rates are going to be, what my next step is going to be, what shift am I going to be working? Am I going to be on 8 hours? Am I going to be on 12 hours? Those things are very important, especially when you have the policing style that is going on right now in this world. Our officers need to be taken care of. They need to be knowing that they're supported and that they need to be able to do their jobs with the best of their ability. And I think that some of the breakdowns that we have, not necessarily in Downers Grove, but in other communities, is a lack of communication between the officers and between the public. So, and I think that stems from a lot of internal issues. I'll be the first one to admit that the biggest problems I see in today's day and age in law enforcement is not externally. I mean, and that doesn't, I'm not trying to take anything away from the massive issues that we've had outside in law enforcement, but it's internally, where the police officers cannot get along with the village can't get along with the police officers, collective bargaining units, what have you. So I'm asking the council if somebody can take the moment and speak to the police department, speak to the collective bargaining unit, speak to the village members, and say, hey, let's get these guys and gals a contract. Because I can tell you right now, I know firsthand that the morale at the Downers Grove Police Department is tanking, and it's going down fast. And these men and women are serving us, and the level of service that we're going to get when we need them, I know it's going to happen. It's going to be declined, and I know that's not Downers Grove style. The second thing that I'd like to talk about is community policing in Downers Grove. Again, I think they do a fantastic job. I recently noticed that Downers became involved with Coffee with a Cop, which is a fantastic organization where people get out to Dunkin' Donuts or where have you, and they meet with the local police officers, they meet with the chief, they meet with the sergeants, detectives, however. It helps build a common bond between law enforcement, whereas normally when people deal with law enforcement, it's either at their house or when they're standing at your driver's side window, which is never a good thing. But I would like the Downers Grove Police to keep an eye on the calendar because in May of 2017, the Special Olympics fundraiser, Cop on a Rooftop, where police officers, they stage up on top of Dunkin' Donuts and they raise money for Special Olympics. We've raised probably about $2.5 million to date. It's a fantastic fundraiser, and it all goes to Special Olympics, and it will bring Downers Grove Police back into the light of community policing, because I can tell you right now that people wonder, why isn't Downers Grove involved? How many Dunkin' Donuts do we have in our town? And every other neighboring agency is involved with this, and the pride and respect that is built between the residents and the officers that do it, it's just fantastic. Is that for me? That beeping? Does that mean I have to stop? Okay. Waiting for the hook. So if you guys wouldn't mind just taking my words and just maybe, somebody following up with somebody at the village or at the police department and just say, hey, let's take a look at this. Let's get these guys and gals a contract. Let's get more involved in community policing. And the last and final thing, 5309 Lyman Avenue in Randall Park. The house has been abandoned now for about 2.5 years, and it's for sale. T6 is selling the property. Now, for those of you who know, that, especially in Randall Park, I mean, once these lots go up for sale, these things are gone. They're gone before they even go up. It's usually an under the table deal, and the house is sold. The problem with this property, though, is that it's in a
LPDA.
Thank you, sir.
Localized poor drainage area.
Yes, sir. Perfect. That's I didn't want to screw that one up, but
Try sesquicentennial.
can you use that in a sentence?
Just did.
So the problem is that the property is becoming an eyesore now to the neighbors. It's harboring a bunch of skunks in the garage. And as you know, that area seems to have drainage issues. And I know it's a touchy subject, especially in town, but I was wondering if the village can also send somebody out, whoever job that is, to take a look at the property. And is this something that the village maybe would consider purchasing and knocking down and making it a underground detention tank or something that would alleviate the stormwater issues that we have in that neighborhood? So if you guys would kindly take into consideration some of those issues that I brought up tonight, greatly appreciate it. And again, thank you guys for your service.
Thank you, Ms. Nomak. Appreciate your comments and your questions. Very briefly, just in reverse order, with respect to 5309 Lyman.
Yes, sir.
You can consider that request already made. To the extent there are any code issues that we need to address, we'll take a look at it. In terms of whether or not to purchase part of our stormwater management program, that is obviously something that we have in place, but there are certain parcels that qualify or are good candidates for that and others that aren't. I don't know off the top of my head where that one might fall, given that it's in private hands and probably slated for development. It's probably not a good target or opportunity right now, but we're always open to seeing what makes sense.
Sure.
We do have a more comprehensive plan in which those types of acquisitions take place. Regarding community policing, sure, we can look into more of that, but I know that Chief Bluter and his department are taking the lead on that, and I'm sure they're doing a fine job.
Absolutely.
I'll get more information from them. And with respect to a contract, obviously, given that's a collective bargaining issue, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail.
Of course.
But needless to say, nobody's holding up a contract, certainly not on this end. I have to say that I've been here since 2001, and we have a number of different bargaining units within the village, and I think we've always done a really good job of, it takes two to tango in anything. And it's give and take.
Course.
And you know how it works.
I do.
And we've always been able to do that, I think, in a very professional, respectful, and productive manner. And I see no reason this will be any different. But sometimes the process utilizes different avenues that are available within the overall framework of the collective bargaining system in the state of Illinois than others, and that's really all this is. To be sure, the police department here in Downers Grove has and will have the full support of staff and council. Our police department has been CLIA certified, as you know, for the last 2-3 rounds, and I've been privileged to be involved in the post-interview certification briefing process, and except for the facility, which we all know needs to be addressed, I know firsthand the excellence that our department achieves at all levels of the organization, and they couldn't do that without the support of this community and without the support of not only this council, but other councils.
Agreed.
So you can rest assured that obviously people negotiate no different than you negotiate with someone who you want to have done work on your house. It's a give and take situation, but as long as it's professional and respectful and productive and positive, which I'm confident this will be, we'll all be fine.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Mayor, can I ask, I know it's going into, contract stuff, you can't talk about it too much, but from what my understanding is, have they entered arbitration yet? Have they hired an arbitrator?
I don't know the details off the top of my head, but I believe that phase may either be in process or soon in process, but other than that, I'm not at liberty to share the details.
No, absolutely, and by no means am I, I want to make sure that everybody knows, I do believe that you guys support the police the best you can. I'm just, trying to hopefully just let these guys and gals know that, the residents are behind them as well, and that we want to see them have a contract, and we want them taken care of, so.
So do we.
Absolutely, so thank you guys for your time, and congratulations again to the newcomers.
It's, as they say, it's not bipartisan, but it's not bipolar, although sometimes these things.
Yes, and no, I know.
It's as I said, I'll go back to it takes two to tango.
It does take two to tango, so thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your comments. Thank you. Other questions? Hold on. Thank you. We generally don't applaud all public comments. Be careful what you ask for. We're going to pause for a moment during public comment to let our parishioners. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. I know you're off to another meeting. And while everyone is filtering out, I'll ask if there are any other questions or comments of a general nature from members of the audience. Questions or comments of a general nature with respect to items that are not on tonight's agenda. Seeing that there are none, thank you for those that we did have. That brings us to our consent agenda, item 6. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Mayor Kelly, I move that this council approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Any questions or comments on any of the consent agenda items from members of the audience? Questions or comments from members of the village council? Roll call, please.
Commissioner White?
Aye.
Commissioner Waldeck?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace? Aye. Commissioner Earl? Aye. Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnett?
Aye.
Mayor Tully?
Aye, the consent agenda passes unanimously, and that brings us to item 7, our active agenda. We have no items on tonight's active agenda. So we'll go right to item 8, which is our first reading or our workshop agenda. This is a more informal portion of our meeting where items are presented for discussion and consideration purposes only. No formal action will be taken at this time. As is customary, Village Manager David Fieldman, either himself or through other members of our fine staff, will present the items for discussion by the council. Typically, I ask the village council to ask their questions first, then we open up for public questions and comments and come back to the audience. So with that, those ground rules laid out. Mr. Fieldman, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor Tully. Thank you so much for the introduction. We have 4 items on tonight's first reading agenda. All of them have to do with the property at 1401 to 1445 Ogden Avenue. Here to present background information on this petition is our Community Development Director, Stan Popovich.
Good evening, Mr. Popovich.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As Mr. Fieldman noted, it's a plan unit development request, a rezoning request, special use request, and alley vacation for the property commonly known as Delta Sonic. The property's on the south side of Ogden Avenue between Sealy Avenue and Oakwood Avenue. If we zoom into an aerial of the property, this is the property in yellow, and the alley that's being requested is immediately south of the Delta Sonic property. Delta Sonic, for many years, has occupied the east side of this property, and then recently they've purchased the Burger King building, which is now vacant. Moving around the site to show existing conditions, there are 5 curb cuts on Ogden Avenue and 2 on Oakwood Avenue. There are no curb cuts on Sealy. The west side of the property, as I've noted, is a vacant Burger King property. The center portion here, the horizontal piece is the car wash piece. There's also a commercial convenience store in the middle. And then the V shape has some fueling stations, pumps underneath there. As you can see on the left-hand side here in the circle is the existing stacking. There's not a lot of stacking in this area, and it frequently backs up onto the other sections of this property. And then on the east side is an office and repair shop as well. That's all Delta Sonic. The petitioner is proposing to redevelop the property. So in green, you'll see the existing buildings. In the middle is the primary car wash building and the convenience store. And then on the right is the office building and repair shop. What the petitioner is proposing to do is to consolidate and remove curb cuts. We'd have 2 curb cuts on Ogden Avenue and 1 on Oakwood. This is going to help circulation on the site and on Ogden Avenue as well. Proposing to construct a new canopy for the fuel pumps and reorient the fuel pumps parallel to Ogden Avenue. Construct a prep wash hut and then a connection to the car wash there, and then construct some vacuum stations along here as well in the purple. One of the key facets is the new stacking for the drive-through car wash here. We'll zoom in a little bit. As you can see, there's now going to be 30 stacking spaces basically from the drive aisle access in to the prep hut, and then there's 3 additional spaces. So this will get cars in and out into the facility a lot quicker to get car washes and alleviate stacking within the site as well. And if we go back to the site plan here, you can see additional parking that's provided along the south property line, and then some new parking spaces adjacent to the building, just north of the building there. Stormwater detention, there's currently 2 above-ground detention areas. That's going to be all underground in this general area shown here in blue, so they'll take care of that. There's no new detention requirements because the existing site is so paved, so this would take care of the existing detention that's on site. These are some building elevations. This is the north elevation. Oops, wrong button there. That shows the elevation here. You can see the canopy slightly underneath the new canopy, and then on the right-hand side of the top at the north elevation is the new structure where the cars will be under. And then again, that does show sort of where the car wash stations are. The east elevation and the lower, you see the new canopy and then some of the new facilities. And then the west cross section shows what that new prep hut will be, and then the overhang canopy for the vacuum pumps, and then the two bays where you pay for your car wash there as well. With regard to the comprehensive plan, the property is in the corridor commercial, which is primarily auto-related uses. The key things with this development is it reduces a lot of curb cuts on Ogden Avenue, reduces an additional curb cut on Oakwood Avenue, and it provides a pedestrian connection now. So where the old Burger King property didn't have a sidewalk, there will now be a sidewalk. So that'll provide some connection along Ogden Avenue there as well. With regard to the criteria in the zoning ordinance, there's various sections. PUDs are appropriate when the proposals advance comprehensive plan goals, and then improve properties that would be difficult to redevelop under general zoning regulations given the site constraints, which is this case, just based on the lack of depth along Ogden Avenue for the property, and then the unique characteristics of the car wash and the volume that they do and the other uses on the property as well. The other criteria as well have been noted and approved and recommended for approval as shown in the staff report. Delta Sonic team is here as well. Kathy West is here to answer any questions that you might have for them, and if there's any operational questions, they can answer you those as well. If there's any questions, Mayor, at this time, I'd be happy to answer those for you and the council.
Terrific. Thank you for the presentation. Any questions from members of the council at this juncture for either staff or the petitioner? I will just observe that obviously we're expanding existing use, so that's not an issue. It has long been a challengingly tight spot that sees a lot of activity, so the expansion, I think, is probably a good thing, and it's also putting to use an abandoned facility, or not abandoned facility, a non-functioning facility. So in terms of the special use criteria, it's certainly an appropriate use for Ogden Avenue. It's basically extending existing use, so it's hard to argue that that's an issue. I don't have any specific questions at this point in time. We can open it up to the, see, I knew if I talked long enough, somebody would think of something. Commissioner Earl.
I don't have any questions, but I would just like to say thrilled that the curb cuts are being reduced, and really happy with the sidewalk going all the way through. So good job. That's it.
Thank you. Other preliminary questions or comments from the council? Very good. You'll get another chance. Any questions or comments from members of the audience? Please. Good evening, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Kathleen West. I'm an attorney in Naperville, and our law firm is representing Delta Sonic in the processing of its zoning and subdivision entitlements through the village. Delta Sonic has operated this facility on Ogden Avenue for over 27 years, and 2 years ago it did acquire the Burger King site. Delta Sonic proposes to expand and renovate its facility and to incorporate the Burger King property into its facility. Delta Sonic wishes to improve safety, to improve on-site circulation, to upgrade the site, and to provide a better level of customer service. Mr. Popovich explained the scope and detail of our project. And again, various members of our design team and representatives of Delta Sonic are here this evening to answer any questions that you may have, and that we would request that at your next meeting you approve our development proposal Delta Sonic wants to continue to be a good corporate citizen of this community.
Thank you, Ms. West. Appreciate the presentation, and my apologies for not specifying if the petitioner had any further presentation to make prior to the public, so thank you for stepping up. I'm going to come back and ask my colleagues one more time if they have any questions for the staff or the petitioner. Thank you for being here. Commissioner Jose.
Thanks, Mayor. No questions, really, just a comment. Thank you for continuing to reinvest in the community. That Burger King's been closed for some time now, and I'm glad to see this come forward in addition to the reducing of the curb cuts, which obviously is a benefit, as Commissioner Earl pointed out. That the site has been a little cramped, and I'm glad to see it grow and be able to accommodate more folks. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Other questions or comments from members of the council? We're going to let you off easy tonight. No questions. Thank you for being here, though, in case we need it. But in all seriousness, a lot of information was provided to us in advance. Thank you to Mr. Popovich and staff for providing it to us. I think all the information that I needed, at least at this juncture, was provided. So we appreciate the collaborative preparation of those materials.
And that ends our first reading tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Wow, just like that. Thank you, and in fact does end the first reading, and it brings us to the mayor's report. And I have one item that I will handle under the mayor's report, and a couple other things I'll handle under the council member reports. Under the mayor's report, we have one item tonight, and that is the appointment and reappointment of members to boards and commissions. And I guess the first order of business there would be to read the resolution, which is a lengthy one, because it is that time of the year. The terms of a number of boards and commissions or members are expiring, and so we have a number of people who are either being reappointed or appointed. So take a deep breath. Clerk Olin, and please read the resolution.
A resolution appointing and reappointing members to village boards and commissions. Whereas Mayor Tully has made the following appointments to village boards and commissions, now therefore be resolved that the Village Council of the Village of Downers Grove does hereby confirm the following appointments. Architectural Design Review Board, reappoint Edward Larson to a 3-year term expiring August 31, 2019. Appoint Liz Chalberg, Historical Society Representative, and Ken Lerner, Attorney Representative, to 3-year terms expiring August 31, 2019. Community Events Commission, reappoint David Humphreys to a 3-year term expiring August 31, 2019. Environmental Concerns Commission, reappoint Stacy Salmon to a 3-year term expiring August 31, 2019. Appoint Kristen Duda to a 3-year term expiring August 31, 2019. Fire Pension Board, reappoint Tom Carroll and Jeffrey Kuchta to a 3-year terms expiring August 31, 2019. Library Board, appoint Jonathan Graber to a 6-year term expiring August 31, 2022. Liquor Commission, reappoint James Kruzanowski to a 3-year term expiring August 31, 2019. Appoint Cynthia Petruccia to a 3-year term expiring August 31, 2019. Plan Commission, reappoint Denise Rabata to a 3-year term expiring August 31, 2019. Appoint Michael Maurer and Michael Boyle to 3-year terms expiring August 31, 2019. Stormwater and Floodplain Oversight Committee, reappoint Richard Crilly, Mark Sacco, and Daniel Schoenberg to 3-year terms expiring August 31, 2019. Technology Commission, appoint Anthony Schroeder and Chris Panker to 4-year terms expiring August 31, 2020. Transportation and Parking Commission, reappoint Christopher Sayricks to a 3-year term expiring August 31, 2019. Appoint Kelly Dunn as chair for a 3-year term expiring August 31, 2019. Zoning Board of Appeals, appoint Diva Machauskas as chair, appoint Maureen Grove to a 3-year term expiring August 31, 2019.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adopt the resolution that was just read by the village clerk?
Mayor Kelly, I move that this council adopt and confirm the appointments as read by the village clerk.
Second.
Questions or comments from members of the council? I just want to say, as I always do, how much we appreciate the service of all the members of our boards and commissions, both those who are reappointed and will be continuing their service on the boards and commissions that were mentioned, as well as those new appointees who were among a number of residents who volunteered to serve in various capacities this community. And it's always a difficult choice because we have so many well-qualified people. I do my best to try to make sure that as many people as possible can serve, which means that there is some attrition on boards and commissions, which I think is healthy, as well as preserving some institutional knowledge on some of the boards and commissions, which is very important. We welcome all the new appointees in their new roles. They are very important. This council and staff relies upon our volunteer boards and commissions to provide a lot of valuable insights based on their experience and expertise that we tremendously value. And I want to remind all the new appointees that we value your input and advice even if we don't end up agreeing with you. Sometimes the council will do what is recommended by a board or commission. Sometimes we will do something completely different, and sometimes we will simply disagree. But in all those cases, we tremendously respect, value, and appreciate the service of our volunteer board and commission members and what they contribute to this community. So thank you to all of you. I know we have at least one member in the audience who's being appointed tonight, so thank you, Mr. Lerner. I know there were a few others that were going to be here, but they were waiting for school curriculum night to get over and thought they might be here at 8. I will try to let them know there's no need to come now. But I always like to recognize board and commission members, particularly new appointees, on their appointment night. So congratulations and thank you. And with that, I'll ask for a roll call, please.
Commissioner White?
Aye.
Commissioner Waldeck?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Commissioner Earl?
Aye.
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnett?
Aye.
Mayor Tully?
Aye. That resolution has been adopted unanimously, and again, congratulations and thank you to all our board and commission members who will be serving the community. Going forward, item 10, manager report. Mr. Fieldman, good evening again.
Good evening, Mayor Tully. No report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Petrarca, how are you tonight?
Great.
Village Attorney's report, please. Item 11.
Thank you, Mayor. 4 items to present tonight. The first is an ordinance rezoning certain property at 1401 and 1445 Ogden Avenue. An ordinance designating the property at 1401 and 1445 Ogden Avenue as Planned Unit Development Number 56 for the redevelopment of a fueling station and a car wash. And an ordinance authorizing a special use for 1401, 1445 Ogden Avenue to permit the redevelopment of the fueling station and car wash. And an ordinance vacating a portion of a public alley immediately south of 1401, 1445 Ogden Avenue. These will all appear on next week's active agenda. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That brings us to item 12, which is reserved for council member reports, either with respect to items of interest or goings on in the community that the council members want to share with the public, or reporting out in liaison roles, which for Commissioners Earl and Wallace, we'll get back to you on what that is. I'll start with Commissioner Jose tonight. Any report?
No report, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Waldeck.
I do have a report, Mayor, as liaison for the Downtown Management Corporation. As you all know, it was had great weather this last weekend. For the 40th Annual Fine Arts Festival, there were over 50 artists involved. Say the weather was great and things were good for the businesses downtown. So whenever we have these events, it's great for the community and the businesses as well. So in that vein, Girls' Day Out, it used to be Ladies' Night Out, but now it's Girls' Day Out, scheduled for Thursday, September 29th, and it's all day and into the night. And it benefits organizations, private PTAs, HSAs, and PTOs in Downers Grove. So for further information on Girls' Day Out, visit www.downtowndg.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Wallace, any report?
Nothing to report.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Barnett.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Commissioner Earl.
Yes, it was a fine art show. Downtown did a wonderful job, and I also want to let people know, I'm glad that the shops did well, but the artists, especially Universal Art and Bonnie Huffman for my new wearable art, I wanted to especially thank that all fine art doesn't just hang on the wall. It can hang on you, it can be out there. So next year, if you're thinking that art is just something that you hang up on the wall, maybe you want to give it another look and come out and take a look at some of what the artists have as well. So that's it, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Commissioner White.
Thank you, Mayor Tully. As some of you know, I've been involved with a local nonprofit called Friends of the Gifted. And for more than 30 years, this particular group has offered enrichment classes and similar programs for various students. Last year, we started something new. We had 5 speakers, 3 esteemed academic professionals and 2 local students from our high schools. And this year, we're beginning our speaker series with names familiar to this council, Amy and Dave Gasson. We're going to give a talk on Monday, September 26th, on the history and significance of the American Foursquare. They're becoming quite the experts on the American Foursquare, which is a significant part of our history. This event is Monday, September 26th. The talk will begin at 7 p.m. People will meet a little before then. It'll be at Ballydoyle's. For those who don't know, this is patterned after the Pints of Science program that happens every May in cities around the world, where scientists are put into bars to talk to people about science and other academic subjects. So we're half Pints of Science, or we're attempting to replicate that here in Downers Grove. So I think this is not science, it's history, but it's certainly part of the mission of Frog. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. As was mentioned by Commissioner Waldeck, this last Saturday was chock full of activities in Downers Grove. We had the Farmers Market going on, we had the Downtown Fine Arts Festival, the Grove Foundation was doing their annual golf outing. It was a great day for lots of things going on in Downers Grove. And this weekend will be nothing different. A number of things going on this weekend. First, of course, the Education Foundation of District 58 is doing, once again, their annual Oktoberfest celebration on September 17th and 18th, and that will be also right in the downtown area. There is lots of information about the hours, music lineup, and ability to buy tickets and whatnot on the website, which is www.58foundation.org. Fest hours are Saturday from noon to 11 p.m., and then on Sunday from noon till 8 p.m. And it'll be located at Burlington Avenue and Main Street, right in the heart of Downers Grove. So lots going on. Come down, enjoy yourself, see your neighbors, and support our local schools. Not to be outdone, and speaking of local schools, on Sunday, September 18th, beginning at 8 o'clock a.m., Whittier School will be doing one of their fall fundraisers, the Jaguar Jog. I notice a lot of our local schools in 58 are doing the 5K races. Next week I'll be talking about both Bel Air and Leicester School have races coming up. St. Mary Augustine did theirs a couple weeks ago. Lots of opportunities to get out and run around in downtown and inspect the quality of our street construction. That's why I do it, because it's about how slow I go too. So for more information on that, you can go to the Whittier Elementary School PTA website, which is whittierschoolpta.org, for more information on the Jaguar Jog 5K run, walk, and I believe there's a 1-mile kids run too. And then last but not least, speaking of the farmers market, the Village Council will be holding one more Coffee with the Council at the farmers market, and that will be taking place this Saturday. Once again, Saturday's chock full of events. Saturday, September 17th from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. in front of or nearby the Main Street train station, just west of the downtown farmers market. So please come out if you have any questions or comments and want to speak informally to members of the Village Council. Rumor has it that new Commissioners Wallace and Earl will be there. Maybe, no, Commissioner Wallace will be there. Commissioner Earl was there last time, so it's an opportunity to meet Commissioner Wallace and get to know a little bit more about her. Typically, we all try to get there, but various members sometimes can't, but you'll usually get a good mix of different people there. So it's an opportunity and a good reason to come by more than once throughout the year. So that's this Saturday, September 17th from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m., Coffee with the Council. And with that, I have nothing further, so I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Mayor Tully, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner White?
Aye.
Commissioner Waldeck?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace? Aye. Commissioner Earl?
Aye.
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnett?
Aye.
Mayor Tully?
Aye, thank you. We are adjourned. Good night.